Hello everyone, my name is Lei and I'm the Sales Enablement Coordinator here at WatchGuard, and today I'm here to introduce you to the new Renewals Watch tool. I would like to begin by acknowledging that we have both distribution partners as well as resellers on this training session, so while not all information provided may be relevant to you, we do hope it's at least informative and possibly even helps you better understand the downstream effect of certain processes. So a quick overview. Renewals Watch is going to be replacing our current Renewals Manager tool. It's going to help to provide greater visibility into customer device licenses as well as flexibility in claiming and quoting. There are several key benefits to the Renewals Watch tool. The first being that it provides a more intuitive user experience and expands our ability to respond to changing business needs faster than before. There will not be a hassle for manual quoting of products that may have not been loaded previously in the Renewals Watch tool, as the data will be brought in-house, and so WatchGuard will be able to implement those new products and any business rules much faster than before. For our distributors, you'll be able to quickly reference any quotes provided by the reseller, and we'll dive into that a little bit later. Renewals Watch will also allow customers to select the visibility that resellers have into their device licenses and upcoming expirations. This is going to help to streamline renewals-related communication from WatchGuard to designated resellers, as well as formalize reseller communications to customers. So defining this relationship between the customer and the reseller is not only going to help drive revenues, it's going to help to also reduce your risk. The new system is going to allow for backdating services up to 6 months in the past for expired devices. This is consistent with industry standards and also means that reinstatement fees are a thing of the past. You will also be able to co-term services, which just simply means synchronizing end dates of multiple services when quoting multiple devices. The tool will reduce errors by recognizing when an individual service is included in a suite, preventing you from placing duplicate orders. So if a selected service is dependent on another, Renewals Watch is also going to ensure that both services are covered and do not overlap. A specific example would be when a customer must have an active suite or gateway antivirus to use Advanced Persistent Threat Blocker. If a customer has a suite or gateway antivirus already, only Advanced Persistent Threat Blocker would be added to the quote. However, if a customer has neither a suite nor a gateway antivirus already, gateway antivirus will automatically be added to the shopping cart when Advanced Persistent Threat Blocker is added. Removal of these items from the shopping cart would consider the same dependencies. And finally, if a product is reaching end of life, you'll be notified and a newer device is going to be suggested. Likewise, if a suite is a better option than any individual service that's been selected, we'll provide that upsell guidance as well. So this is what the partner experience will be once you log into your partner portal. Upon launch, you'll be able to access the Renewals Watch tool by logging into the partner portal and selecting the tool's flyout menu where you'll see the Renewals Watch link. If you log in today, you will not see this link that's highlighted yellow. You'll only see at the bottom of this list the Get Reseller link where you'll be able to access the URL that you can send off to your customers. I'll dive into that piece of it a little bit later in this presentation. So once you go into the Renewals Watch, on the home page you'll find the upcoming renewals queue where you'll see the expired devices, what's expiring in the next 30 to 60 days, and then anything that's been claimed but not yet activated. Also on the right-hand side you'll find the Quick Links menu where you'll be able to easily navigate to claim devices or access accounts and quotes. An established relationship between customers and their resellers is going to enable our partners to predictably and accurately capture upcoming renewals. WatchGuard has defined 3 levels of visibility for our customers to select for their resellers, the first being the preferred reseller. As a preferred reseller, you're going to have visibility into the device licenses that are registered to customers. You'll also receive consolidated monthly renewal notices, including customer information and all associated devices. You will also work closely with the WatchGuard Renewals team to address any outstanding customer renewal needs, and the partner will be listed on renewal notices that are sent out to customers. The second level is the associated reseller, who will also have visibility into all customer device licenses. The major difference here, other than what's obvious in not the associated partner not partnering with the renewals team or being referenced on the renewal notices, is that customers can select up to 3 associated resellers, whereas they can only select 1 preferred reseller. A reason for this would be if they require multiple bids, so they would have their 1 coming from the preferred reseller and then up to 3 from different associated resellers. A reason for the example would be if they require multiple bids for a government contract. That's the scenario we see the most often. Finally, there is the claiming reseller. This is the default, so if no selection is made, a reseller is going to have visibility into the customer device licenses that were matched through point-of-sale reporting, and then the devices that the reseller claimed through the claiming process. Establishing this relationship, there's 4 ways to do so. The first is the initial linking that WatchGuard has loaded into the system. There are 4 different assumptions that we've made to load these initial claims. The first being that if all devices for an end user have been purchased through one partner, that partner has been selected as the preferred reseller. If devices have been purchased from multiple resellers, including a WatchGuardONE partner, the WatchGuardONE partner has been selected. If devices have been purchased from multiple WatchGuardONE partners, the highest ranking partner is selected. Our reasoning for this is simply that we do truly respect the investment our WatchGuardONE partners have made in our business, and therefore are providing them with this default position. In a case where there's multiple devices linked to multiple resellers, where there's no WatchGuardONE partner involved, the reseller with the most recent claim would be selected as the preferred reseller. Again, I do want to reiterate that these are just default links that can be overwritten in multiple ways. The first is by the customer, who can select the associated and or preferred partners through the Manage Reseller functionality in the customer portal. The reseller can also initiate this by sending out their My Reseller link and prompting their customers to select them as their preferred reseller. Finally, if a partner is having trouble accessing the My Reseller link, they can always reach out to a WatchGuard sales rep and we can initiate that for you. So claiming devices is a convenient way to manage the customer-partner relationship. No different than today, our partners can go in and claim a serial number individually or through a bulk claim using a CSV file. If the serial number has not already been claimed, then that will be associated with the partner. Again, this is very similar to what the current process is today. Your My Reseller link is currently available in the Tools flyout menu, which I pointed out earlier on the partner homepage. Upon launch, the link is going to be removed from that flyout menu and accessible through the Quick Links menu on the Renewals Watch homepage. Either link will take you to this screen here, where you'll see at the top on the left-hand side the My Reseller link tab, which will include your URL and a quick template that you can send to your customers explaining what it is. The tab you see visible is the Check Relationships tab, which will provide a summary of your current customer relationships as well as an alphabetical list of each account and relationship type. Along with the new system, there's a few updates to the business rules I'd like to quickly review with you. The first is if your service is already expired, a start date is going to backdate to the date after the original expiration, up to 6 months in the past. These backdating rules are going to apply to full-term license key activations. However, if a start date of your renewal is not already expired, it will be the date after the current service expires. If you're upgrading from standard support to a suite or from basic security suite to a total security suite, your start date is going to be set to the date of quote creation. In this case, the renewal is not going to backdate. Same as the case if you are adding a new service to a device. The start date is going to be set to the date of quote creation and again won't backdate. Renewals Watch is going to automatically code term all services on a quote to a single expiration date. So you'll simply add all requested devices to the same quote, and the system is going to prorate the services and costs to align with your chosen date, with the default being set to 1 year from the latest expiring date on the quote. This is in line with our recommended minimum when quoting of 1 year, of a 1 year term. You can choose to co-term any date beginning no earlier than a current expiration up to the end of life of a product or a maximum of 5 years. You can also renew any service on a product within the last year of life up to the end of life date. However, a full 1-year service term will be charged. This is no different than our current policy. So next, I do want to jump into a live demo of how to quote in the new Renewals Watch tool. So I'm going to jump into Internet Explorer, and I have my partner portal homepage already loaded here. You'll simply log in to your partner portal and select the Tools flyout menu at the top menu bar, and select Renewals Watch. Again, here's your Renewals Watch homepage where you'll find your upcoming renewals queue, where you can access an account that may be listed here. You'll see one right here. You can access to quote through this link. You can also do so by accessing My Accounts in the Quick Links menu, where you'll see the complete list of all of your accounts you can sort in ascending or descending order on any one of these headers above. So if I want to go in and quote Block Inc., you'll be taken to the account detail page where you'll see their address, phone number, and you can edit customer details here should you need to. I'm going to go ahead and select Create Quote. This is going to land me on the Installed Products page. You can use the filters to narrow your search on the far left sidebar, where you'll see that you can filter by expiration lead time, start date, asset name, serial number, or product name. Once I have the devices that I want to quote, I'm just going to select a couple here and select Renew Now. This is going to take you to your shopping cart. So I see the 2 devices I've selected and the suites that are currently on them. I'll also see the start dates and current expirations. On the end date, this is where you'll see the co-termed end date. So it takes you from a year from the latest current expiration, and then it'll prorate the selling term and then the total amount here on the far right column. Should I decide that I want to push this out another 2 years, I can co-term end date at the bottom menu down here and select this as, let's say, November 2019 and apply. I'm going to select Reprice just to make sure everything is completely refreshed. And you'll see the adjusted end date here, and then the updated selling term and proration amounts here. Should you want to add, modify, or remove services, you can simply select Change Services, and then select or deselect any options, suites. I'm just going to select a few here and allow this to load. Select Go to Pricing once everything is added. And again, I'm just going to reprice to make sure everything looks correct. Okay. So once I've added everything that I want and co-termed my end dates, I'm going to finalize the quote. I do want to mention, if you're renewing early, for example, a month prior to an expiration, your total is going to be prorated to include that 1 month credit. So keep an eye out for that if that's the case in one of your renewals. So once you're finished, this will take you to the quote detail page where you can just review the high level of the quote you just created. You'll see the total on the far right, customer account details again. Should you realize you may have missed something, you can go ahead and configure your products, which will take you back to the shopping cart. You can preview your quote just to see a quick draft. It won't generate a final version. until you select Generate. This is going to lock your quote. So if you find later that you missed something, you would need to just go in and clone the quote, which will create a copy. And you can go ahead and modify your product or your quote by selecting Configure Products from there. So I think everything looks good for this quote. I'm going to select Generate and then the output format and template that I want. Select Generate again. And on this confirmation page, I'm going to select the click here to view this file. It'll pull up the PDF, and this is my final quote. So you'll see the quote ID at the top right. This is the number for the resellers to submit to the disti. These first 8 numbers here. You'll also see once you generate a quote, the validity date at the top. This is going to be 30 days from the date of generation. So if you're just previewing a quote, this space will be blank, but once you've generated, that will be populated. I do want to also point out that the pricing you see here is going to be an MSRP, which is the reseller's price to the distributor, and it cannot be edited. Some things that have also caused confusion I want to point out is when you select multiple devices here, you'll see that there are 2 device lines right here, and the total on the device line is the same as the total on the service line. If there's multiple services selected, the device line is just going to be the subtotal of those services. So there's only one here. You see the total right there. And this final line at the bottom is just the sum of the 2 device subtotals. And that will be the quantity that the reseller submits for purchase. Okay, so let's go back into the rest of the training session. So for our distributors, the experience is really no different from a quoting perspective. However, you will notice a few additional features. The first, as I mentioned earlier, is that you will be able to search by customer or quote number that is provided by the reseller. This will simply pull up this search bar where you can enter those first 8 numbers and then pull up the quote using this access link. You'll also be able to search for any serial numbers within your region and area regardless of claim. And then of course you'll be able to view devices that you personally claimed, and also the ability to update, save, or output existing quotes that you've created. So what are the next steps? Prior to the April 17th launch, there's a few steps that we would like you to take to ensure that this is a smooth transition. The first is to encourage your coworkers to watch our on-demand training, and then also access the help documentation to address any outstanding questions. Both of these resources will be extremely helpful for you to become much more familiar with the Renewals Watch tool. You'll also want to check with your local sales rep to ensure that you have a designated renewals contact at your company. This is the contact that will be listed on all renewals notices, so it's extremely important to confirm that with your reps. Finally, we want you to keep an eye out on the Partner Portal banner for the most recent updates on launch details. This will be updated daily as we get closer to the final launch of the Renewals Watch tool, so please keep an eye on that. And that is the end of this presentation. Should you have any questions, please again reach out to your local sales rep or access the help documentation through the Partner Portal for any FAQs that are current and also will continue to be updated as we go through further trainings. Thank you so much.